Hey, good morning. It's a beautiful day today, sunny, a little warm, but hey, it's not as hot as the rest of the country, I know that. But right now I'm just chilling and heading home, or maybe I think I have to do one more errand. But I'm just heading to do some things right now. So, one of the things I've been looking at a lot of times, in many ways, it's something we all do, is we always have the idea that everything we hear should be relative to our values. The problem with that, and it's something I learned from my grandmother when I was only 5 or 6 years old. Relative information in today's media has become since a sensation. Who can make somebody watch the show or whatever, and and I and I'm always reminded what Walter Cronkite, what Edward Murrow, Brinkley, and other individuals in as correspondents, how they would interact towards we call it subject matters that is seen as uh, challenging for politicians. That's the point right now. One of the things that I learned, and it's something we all have learned when we were still in high school, junior high, middle school, is that everybody has a different interpretation of events and situations. But it's how you handle those situations and how you start doing the research and the value of those informations becomes a blossomed point. What I'm saying is that a lot of people today just blindly believe everybody or somebody or some group. If you believe on this TV show or versus this TV show, that's your right as an American and as a citizen of this country. But what is not right is when you are unwilling to challenge the narrative, even if it's in your political spectrum. In my case, I have always challenged everything I see. I am data driven in individual. That means I'm also cognitive to the changes and challenges of information and facts. When I was growing up, my grandmother, as a teacher, as an educator, and the rest of my family taught me to think outside the box and be critical on every information out there. From the beginning of my growth and my education, I've always used the five W's and how. Being intuitive and being curious is a paramount part of humanity and humanism. The problem with today's adults and children is that adults are wary of asking questions that might dismantle their idea and value. Challenging the notion has become something they don't want to do because it hurts, and the challenge itself is a problem for a lot of people, and so they don't want to do that. So for a lot of times in the last few years, I've noticed more and more people willing to take on the narrative and use imbalanced reasoning without supportive evidence and facts because they are unwilling to point out the the truth about it. The other thing I noticed, and it's something I learned years back, It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, a conservative, a moderate, what political party you are. When you start cherry picking and only putting certain things that fit your narrative, you are not doing any kind of justice to yourself or to anyone else. I was reminded in one of my biblical and theological studies years back that in the 1930s and also part of the 1940s, Nazi Germany went through the Bible and picked and chose and cherry picked certain narratives and certain biblical statements and points to fit their narrative, taking out certain verbiage and ideas from the Bible, creating their own Bible. And one of the things that people don't seem to realize is that that ideal narrative was supported by many individuals in Germany who were told that this Bible is a reflection of the faith, but also a reflection of the nation and the government and community. And that's a point that me and my friends were just talking about a few weeks ago, is that we have to challenge the notion by asking questions, being curious. You can't just cherry pick points just to fit your narrative. I've seen that always in both sides of the party line. And what is really crazy is that as a researcher and as an analyst, when I do these things, I'm always surprised how much both sides put the effort to put their narrative in the bright lights. And there's the notion that needs to be stopped, that we cannot just pick and choose what we think is right. We have to pick and choose what is correct and based on the evidence, put it out there and be happy that it exists. And in my case, and I've said this before, if I get an information that challenges my narrative, my opinion, my values, and the answer is correct, I am willing, and I have done it many times, to openly say, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry I was wrong. This is the right evidence. This has been proven by this person, this person. This is the whatever. That's part of the nature of evidence-driven data. Scientists we all have things called theories, opinions, but without real down to earth data to support those opinions, those are just a hypothesis or theory. So my point is, we need to start understanding that we don't have any reflective reasoning to do one side better or whatever. It's important that we have to create that balance, and that balance starts with being honest to ourselves. If our information is wrong, okay, and we know it's wrong, then be honest about it. Stuff the pride, stuff the attitude, stuff everything you think is right by making it about putting your point out there. Even though it's wrong, you're still going to fight it because you want that pronounced idea. There's the problem there, and that's the thing I'm trying to say. So do you feel in today's world that we are scared to ask the hard questions, and we are too scared to value honesty, integrity, and principle when it comes to questions, because it seems that we are more and more like that, and that challenge is real. And I'm just wondering, is that becoming a realistic idea that is really a challenge? So what do you think? If you think I'm wrong, please hit me, point it out to me. If you think I'm right, the same thing. I'm not. I want people to think critically. I want people to think openly, and I want people to have a challenging uh, point of aspects. Because right now in this world, we have so many problems, and there's less and less solutions because we don't have that foundational idea of what the solutions is without working on the aspect together. So for now, take care, stay safe, and of course, have a nice day.